This episode of Express Training Bites is brought to you by Promo Corner. Are you looking to support a sales campaign and reach a larger audience? Raise your brand awareness with content sponsorships. For more information, reach out to sales@promocorner.com. This is Express Training Bites. I am Brendan Petrich, the digital media director at Promo Corner. I forgot what company I work for. And today I have a beast of a guest. Yes, pun intended. And it is Alan Letson. And it's not Leston, it's Letson. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So he kindly pointed out in the most kind and professional way possible that in all of our marketing material beforehand, we had his last name spelled wrong. And just, I love it. And you said you found out why people do that? Why they spell your last name different?
Yeah, so I literally just realized this today that it's because alphabetically it's QRST. They switch the S and the T all the time. And it's just a subconscious thing that I don't think anybody realizes.
Well, we did it, but we are proud to have you here, man. You are the CEO of your own company, Beast Marketing, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But for those of you who don't know who Alan is, Alan, why don't you give them a little bit of a background on kind of what you did and how you got into marketing and promo?
Yeah, so really I started when I was a kid working under my father in the vehicle graphics industry. And I spent a lot of my time just kind of learning the trade of advertising and everything marketing from that side of the industries. And along the way, I got more interested in how it was produced over the final product. So it was more the process of getting there over the final product. And as I grew, I decided to invest more time into the design process, into the printing process, and the process overall. So last year, I got fired from a factory job, and on February 22nd, I launched my business, Beast Marketing.
Let's talk about that, because I don't think people realize what you just said. You said February of when?
2020, so last year,
Weird.
a month before the pandemic.
So talk about the best time to start a business, right? No, I think that's awesome. It took a lot of guts to do that. But then kind of why don't you give us the background on one, where the name came from, and then two, on why you wanted to do it?
Yeah, so as I said, I grew up in the industry, and really I wanted my company to encompass everything marketing. Marketing is such a broad industry, from social media and websites all the way to printing and design. So there's so much, and we're a beast. I want it to encompass everything that you outsource to 5 other companies. I want to be able to handle that. And over time, hopefully we will become an industry beast and really, grow that business in that. So beast is just another way of saying untamed, wild, crazy, big dreams, big goals. And it doesn't really have a purpose. It just kind of fell in. When I was kind of doing it as a hobby, though, it was Banner Beast. So Beast went with Banner, kind of smooth. And I decided that when I established my LLC, that I wanted to broaden it into, a full marketing agency.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I love hearing your story. I love talking with you. I get all hyped, especially when I talk with young and new entrepreneurs that just saw a chance to do it. In our industry, we always talk about there being a problem with a low barrier of entry, but I want to say that that's a good thing too, because it allows a lot of people like you and myself to be able to say, hey, I think I can do that. And then we can use all of those skills and the skills you've got to really build up that company. So now people kind of know your background, right? So I think there's a lot of people out there that have seen your name and have seen Beast Marketing all the time, and they're like, why do I know that? And I think it's because of your social media marketing, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. So the topic of this today is social media, a social network, and not a social diary. So kind of break that down for us on what you mean by that.
So a social diary, obviously it's what it sounds like. It's if you put it into a diary and you kind of vent and let it all out, a lot of people use that on social media, and sometimes that gets manipulated and we make it seem like something that wasn't our fault is our fault, or something that was our fault isn't our fault, and it's so manipulative. But the reality is that social media has always been social networks.
Mhm.
And I grew up in, the age of social media. I remember MySpace, Facebook, when it first came out, everyone had their little farms. We know how that goes. And I mean, really, it's the difference between how you should use it and how you use it. I think that when you go in and you build a network and you use it as a social network to grow your business, grow yourself, that the outcome is completely different than when you use it as a diary.
Mhm. I love that. I love that because there's a lot of people that ask, how do I build my personal brand? And the first thing I'll always say is audit your social. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, dude, I still come upon posts that are 10 years old. And I'm like, who was that guy? And what was he talking about? There is absolutely no context. It says, had a great night out. Let's do it again. Like, what post was that? Who was that guy? And why was I doing that? But I think that's one of those things that we have to be conscious about now, is that as we are trying to build our personal brands, as we're becoming entrepreneurs on a more personal level and using our likeness to build a company, you have to be cognizant of that on social media. And I think that's awesome. But kind of explain to us a little bit too. There's a difference between just using social media to just do whatever you want to do and then using it as a personal brand. Do you recommend people have two different handles, or do you recommend one handle and just focus on yourself in the business?
That is a great question. And it's different for each person because I have multiple handles. Um, Now, keeping it consistent is the best thing. Obviously, some platforms don't allow you to use the same lettering or same characters that the others use. So when you go in, create a handle for your business, keep it as close to your actual business name as possible,
Mhm.
rather than Joe Schmo promo. And the best way to do your personal one is just keep it your name. If you keep it simple, straight to the point, people know you, people know your product, and people know what you're about.
Mhm.
And I have my personal, I have my kind of personal development blog that is a whole nother story. And then I have my business. So really, I'm all over the place with it. But it's important to keep consistency across your handles, because that's how people are going to find you. And when you go on a business card and you want to put your social handle on there, you don't want 5 different names. You just want at Beast Marketing LLC, and it's simple to connect with.
That's awesome. Hey, so we've got a bunch of people watching right now. We've got a bunch of people that are actually chiming in. Love Beast Marketing. We got Amanda Delaney. Hey, guys. Ellie. Hey, bestie. And then let's see. Got Jeff Solomon. Beast. I love Beast Marketing. And then this one caught my eye. So Shannon Laredo jumps in and says, show us your tattoo. How many promo peeps can say they literally branded themselves with their logo?
Okay,
What?
so I don't have any with me, but that's a great thing. So marketing wise on social media, thanks to our friends over at California Tattoo, I got some self promos of the beast logo, which not the whole beast, but just the bee with the horns. And I put it on my wrist, and I'm like, hey, going all out. And obviously I don't have it. It's not real. I do have my Wi-Fi password tattooed on me though.
I'm sorry. Wait, run that back one more time. So you don't have your company logo tattooed, but you have your Wi-Fi password tattooed on you?
Yeah, so my Wi-Fi password is actually, it's a clown thing. And it's a tattoo that I actually have right here across my chest, and just the craziest thing. So don't put it past me to eventually get that B tattooed on me somewhere. I might be stupid enough to do it, but it's okay. It's a clown thing.
So you heard it here first, folks. That is actually how social media works. When he does it so well with his social media that people literally thought he had the tattoo on his wrist, but it was well, you said a self promotion from California Tattoos.
Yeah, it was just a temporary tattoo from California Tattoos.
That is awesome, dude. I love it. That is so fantastic. That's such a great story. All right, we're gonna touch on this real quick. You said that was another story for another time. Well, we've got time. You said you have a personal development blog. Do you share that publicly? Is that something that you've kept online for yourself? What do you use that for?
So that's a great question. It's something that's been a constant development for me. I got really big in it when I was more focused on that and less on my business. But now that I'm working for myself full time, it's being more focused on, but it's not going to be as public as it used to be until it's ready because I have a lot of content that I'm creating for it. So it's called A Man's Endeavor, and it's really just about the journey of growing yourself as a person and socially, financially, and it really just focuses on the pillars of personal, family, social, financial, business, and how to create that foundation for your life to improve yourself and help those around you.
That is awesome. I really like that a lot, man. That's really cool. And when you do have it available, let us know. I want to be able to shout that from the rooftops. So we're gonna start going back to that topic. So I think people are really interested to hear kind of maybe three things that you think about when you're going to post, right? Because we all have those times where like we get super into our opinion or there's something that really bugs us or something like that and we want to just shout it or ask a question or do that to a big group of people and vent real quick. So do you have a tool or a mechanism that you use personally to tell yourself that it's okay to post that it's a social network, that it will actually build your business versus, oh my gosh, this is a diary, this is a Karen or a Richard post, I need to knock it off?
Yeah, so a lot of this comes from personal experience. So back in high school, back when I was a kid, and I still am, but I used it as a social diary, and at the same time, I tried to build a network, but the outcome of using it as a social diary built the wrong type of network. And I put all that drama out there, and it's social media, so it'll always be there.
Mm-hmm.
But what has changed is as I've developed as a person, I have been able to understand, okay, I don't need these people in my social media. Like, how am I going to help them? And how are they going to, learn from me if I have anything to share with them? And
Mm-hmm.
you can learn something good, you can learn something bad, you never know. But when it comes to social media, and I'm gonna be honest, I forgot the question already, but uh
When you're going to post, like if you have something that you know is going to be event post, do you have like a mechanism or something that you go through your head like, okay, this will work for my business even though it's event post, or this is going back to what I used to do, I don't want to do that?
yeah, so like I was saying, this comes from that experience, and that's really my kind of personal mechanism. I don't use any template or anything like that because when I go to post, it needs to be sincere. Everything on social media is about a personal connection
Mhm.
and not selling a product. If you focus on selling a product, you will get nowhere. And you kind of ask, like, you know, where did I come from in like that sense? And really, one thing that happened is Charity Gibson was able to kind of say, "Hey, reach out to these people on social media," and that's how I started getting connected with more people. And I think that that kind of brought me back to that old way of how I used to, network and just post everything on a social diary. And now I'm back to that social network, but rebuilding it the way that I used to, but in a positive way. So no actual mechanism, but just that personal experience of I need to do better.
I love it. Do you have a do you, so I hear a lot of people that post content and build a personal brand. They start with a strategy of maybe a schedule where they stick to consistency, they stick to this. Do you have a tool that you use or a calendar that you write on every day and you know that you're going to post this type of content on this day? Do you use anything like that?
Do you drink a glass of water at the same time every day?
That's a great answer. Holy shit.
I
Oh my
I
gosh.
do I schedule a post, but I schedule them based on the constantly changing insights that I receive from my accounts. So obviously I manage multiple accounts on social media through my business, and each account has a different demographic, a different time when those people are interacting, and it constantly changes. So if you schedule a post, you need to know your current interactions and when they're, what times, what days, where they're coming from, to better optimize those results.
Huh. And for those of you that missed it, if you're trying to figure out why he answered my question with a question, go back and watch it when we do repost this on Tuesday, or even later today once this is done being live. But that's probably one of the best answers I've heard from somebody who talks about social media stuff and about the consistency is a thing, but it's not the holy grail, and it's not one of the 10 commandments. You gotta be able to do and be fluid with what social media is. So our buddy Nadav jumped in here too, and he's talking here. He says, what about social issues? I stay super far away from that stuff. Do you ever jump into that social issue or the political scene or any of that, or do you just kind of stay happy and fluffy in your business?
Yeah, so there's three things that you don't, or that I don't like to discuss, and I think are like the foundation of any type of communication. You don't discuss religion, you don't discuss politics, and you don't discuss finances. The reason for that is that they create tension, and when you create that tension, it's harder to create a genuine connection. Why do I care what your political views are? I care about you as a person, not who you voted for.
Yep.
And when it comes to those issues, I think that if you support something like that and you feel comfortable supporting it, support it. But when it comes to those really strong topics, and a fourth one kind of in there now is, the pride, and not just LGBTQT, but race and any pride related thing. I think that if you support it, support it. But keep in mind that some people may judge you, and you just have to be ready for the opinions of people.
Yep. I love it, man. I love it. And we got Javier Melendez jumped into. He said perfect answer, good answer on issues. Nadav said perfect answer, and then Javi said he just wants to clarify real quick. When you said, "Do you drink water at the same time every day?" He doesn't drink water. He drinks tea. So does that same concept apply?
So Justin Lackman from Adenart and CNIJ has challenged me to drinking more water, about a gallon a day. For those of you who do follow me on social media, I am trying to get into a healthier lifestyle, not a diet. So if you're drinking tea and you drink it at the same time every day, then maybe that works for you. But I do not drink the same thing every day at the same time. It's just not who I am.
I love it, man. Oh, I love it. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap this bad thing up. I think this is awesome, man. Social network, not a social diary. Do you have a key takeaway or one final thing you want to say to everybody who is trying to either A, build their brand online, or B, just try to make an online presence? Do you have a quick 30-second to 2-minute elevator pitch that you would give them about social media based on the things that you've learned in your life?
I've got two here. So the first thing is going to be consistency. You need to post regularly, at least once a day, on all your accounts if you have the time. You also need to be present on multiple platforms, because back to social issues, we know when the elections were happening that a large number of people removed themselves from certain social medias. If you look at that as your business, you just lost half of your audience and half of your sales. Mm-hmm. So you need to be prepared to reach them on a new platform and keep that consistency going of posting every day on all platforms if possible.
Love it. All right, we got one more question here, and I want to get to this because this is she's social media guru over at ASI, Melissa Newman. She has asked, what's your favorite platform for supporting your business?
For supporting my business, LinkedIn. And the reason I say that is because I'm selling promotional products and marketing. So I want to reach business professionals. And what better platform than LinkedIn? With that being said, if you're trying to sell fashion, trendy apparel, TikTok is going to be a better avenue for you because you're reaching that generation and that type of client.
Look at that. So
So
the
for me,
platform is, yeah, it's totally based on where you're trying to sell, right? Like who you're trying to sell to or who you're trying to reach.
and that's why it's important to try to. So Melissa was actually talking on the ASI podcast about this the other day about social media, and I had made that same comment about, do you think it's a good idea to be on all social platforms? And there was some disagreement, but some agreement, and it's if you have the time to do it. And I think that you have to make the time for it. So definitely try to find 15 minutes, copy the same post, post it across all your things, and you're good to go.
Well, that's it, guys. I think that's huge. There's a bunch of okay. Nadav's got one more question, and then we're gonna keep going with this live because to tell you the truth, Alan, I don't think I've had this many comments and stuff. We've done one like a Q&A on Kirby Hasseman when we were doing a DMJ, and we had a bunch of questions, but you're getting a bunch of questions on here. So I'm going to ask this question from Nadav as well. So what's the best way to get engagement on LinkedIn? I feel like I post good content, but it isn't received like my IG and my FB stuff.
So there's a secret with LinkedIn. You're not focused on the engagement. You're focusing on getting your business name in front of the client. And I can definitely go in depth on this, like on a personal message or emails, anything. So if anyone's interested, just reach out to me. But LinkedIn is kind of a step process. It takes about 7 impressions to get someone to remember your name. So first off, you have to get connected with your potential client. The second step is posting that content and hoping that it gets in front of them 7 times. If you hit a point where they've interacted with your post 7 times, then you go to their page, and on there you can find their email or their phone number for most people, and it'll be a business email or cell phone. Use that information, send them a quick, hey, check out these latest products. And now they already warmed up, so you're no longer cold calling. They kind of know who you are, and you have to be proactive about it, but that's really a alternative way to use social media that I don't think people take advantage of.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Nadav says, thanks for the answer. And you owe me a call anyway. So you better get on that. Dad's mad because you didn't call him. And then we got another question here from Melissa. She asks, do you have any creators that you follow who inspire you?
So really, I just got out of following other people. I follow a lot of people in the industry and my family and friends, because I think that when I focus on what someone else is doing to grow their business, that it just really takes away from my personal creativity when I try to copy their creation. But inspiration, just in a whole, not even for social media or anything, Gary Vaynerchuk. If you know who that is, you know who that is, and you know why I follow him. And I think that really it's all back to personal opinion and personal preference.
I love it. Like, that's awesome. We got Javi jumped in and answered the question too. And he said that he follows Judy Fox on LinkedIn and Andy Foote on LinkedIn. They've helped my engagement on LinkedIn and boost over the past few months. So that's kind of nice. And especially because he's going to be at home quite a bit with being the new dad. And by the way, I think you're about to have another one on the way. Yeah.
Yep, anytime now.
Woo! Congratulations, my man. I'm super pumped about that. That is awesome. And then let's see. Meg Erber jumped in, and she's got somebody that she loves to follow and be inspired by. Awesome, guys. I think that's going to be about it for Express Training Bites today. Dude, Alan, thank you so much, man, for dropping all this knowledge. I want to have you on here again, man. I love when I get people who are just consciously thinking about what they're doing and they're going to their next step. It's not just doing it because it's the next thing. They're doing it for a reason. I love what you're doing, man. Keep it up. Thank you too for being on the show and for all of your engagement. I felt like once you and I kind of figured out who each other were a couple of months back, it was like all of a sudden you were commenting on everything Promo Corner. If there was a video up that worked for you, you were sharing some of my Promo Day videos. You're almost always on Express Training Bites in the comment section. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much, man. And yeah, huge. I hope nothing but the best for your business.
I
And
appreciate
again,
it.
congratulations on your upcoming child, man. That's going to be awesome.
Thank you, and definitely thank you to everyone who's watched this and commented, interacted. I really appreciate all the support from you guys for not just myself, but for supporting Promo Corner, and I appreciate the time on here.
That's awesome, man. All right, guys, that's going to do it for Express Training Bites. We will see you next Thursday.